Hey guys, welcome to History Behind the Warrior, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most famous female fighting game characters of all time, Chun Li. At a very young age, Chun Li was exposed to martial arts. This fascinated her, and this was also the main reason why she began practicing martial arts in the first place. When she first began training in martial arts, she started off in Tai Chi. Whilst she was learning Tai Chi, her father would begin teaching her Hong Kuang, a form of Shaolin martial arts. With her father's assistance, Chun Li became a very good fighter. Chun Li's father was known to have amazing kicks, being able to knock out people with barely any effort. Chun Li was inspired by her father and would continue to develop her kicks, embracing techniques from different martial arts. This would vary from capoeira to karate to even taekwondo, thus eventually creating her own style. During this time, Chun Li's father would mysteriously disappear, with the only clue of his disappearance being an organization going by the name of Shadow Lu. To many, it seems like Chun Li's father was kidnapped for no reason, but this may have also been because Chun Li's father was a detective, and that he may have stuck his nose where he shouldn't have been. Wanting to find answers, Chun Li would become a detective at the age of 18. Following in her father's footsteps, she would become a narcotics investigator at the Interpol, also known as the International Criminal Police Organization. During her time at the ICPO, she was investigating into Shadow Lu for their illegal sales of narcotics and weapons. When searching for clues for her father's disappearance, Chun Li would get into a friendly sparring match with an old teacher of her and a friend of her father's, Gen. After their bout, Gen would tell her some clues that would lead her to Shadow Lu. Thanks to the clues from Gen, she was able to find the leader of Shadow Lu, M. Bison. She would confront M. Bison, but be quickly defeated by him. As he flies away, he reveals to Chun Li that he was responsible for not only kidnapping her father, but also killing him. Chun Li would break down and swear vengeance upon Bison. Later, Chun Li would team up with United States Air Force member Charlie Nash. The two went on a mission to track down and eliminate Shadow Lu. On their journey, the two would run into Charlie's good friend and fellow lieutenant Guile. Guile was there because he was given orders to bring Charlie back. A brief argument would break out between the three, but at the end of the day, they all came to the conclusion that they needed to eliminate Shadow Lu. After learning that Bison had tricked the Air Force into cancelling the bombing run of the main Shadow Lu base, Chun Li with Charlie and Guile would proceed to a Shadow Lu base located in Thailand. The three had planted bombs around the base, as Charlie and Guile headed inside to destroy the Psycho Driver. In an epic battle, Charlie would sacrifice his own life in hopes of eliminating Bison. During the evacuation of the Shadow Lu base, Chun Li found Cammy and several of Bison's dolls. She would also meet Ryu, who had defeated M. Bison before Guile and Charlie had arrived. The Shadow Lu base would finally explode, apparently killing Charlie Nash and M. Bison. Of course, we all know that actually these two survive. When Chun Li returned back to the ICPO, she would shut down the operations of Shadow Lu's evil empire, despite the lack of evidence. Chun Li would receive an invitation to the Second World Warrior Tournament, learning that Bison had apparently survived the base's explosion in Thailand. Learning that Bison was still alive was all the motivation she needed to participate in the tournament to ensure that Shadow Lu would be destroyed one way or another. Although Chun Li doesn't make it to the finals of the tournament, she is there to witness Bison's fall to the hands of Ryu's nemesis, Akuma. Sometime after Shadow Lu's fall, Chun Li, Guile and Cammy are summoned to a theme park to stop a woman called a Jury. Whilst Guile and Cammy are evacuating the civilians, Chun Li is left to fight Jury. During the fight, Chun Li is seriously injured by Jury, but before she can be executed, Guile and Cammy appear, forcing Jury to retreat. Chun Li would then retire, but she would find that life is less than what she had hoped for, convincing herself to return to fighting. She is then found by Guile, who reveals to her evidence of Shadow Lu's possible return. After learning about this, she would return to being an officer. She would return to the Interpol and team up with Guile and Cammy in order to take down Sin. Now just to let you guys know, Sin is the broken off weapons division of Shadow Lu. When Shadow Lu was originally destroyed, it was Seth who would take control and bring up the organization once more, under a different name called Sin. On her journey, she is also approached by a man called Abel, who is searching for any leads on the Shadow Lu organization. Chun Li would also participate in the martial arts tournament Sin is holding, learning more about the organization as she progresses. During the tournament, Chun Li pursues after Gen, who is also participating. She also wishes to get more answers about her father's death, although Gen refuses to answer her question. Later she encounters Juri once more, and the two have a rematch, with Chun Li defeating her, although she is unable to bring her into custody. When she infiltrates the Sim Dam facility, she is trapped when Vega activates the base's self-destruct sequence, but are eventually rescued by Gao and Abel. Sometime later, Shadowloo has fallen. It is left unclear, but it's vaguely hinted that Chun Li was responsible for this. Although finally at peace, Chun Li would continue her work as a police officer, but retire from mainstream street fighting in order to teach young children martial arts. One day, one of her students would be kidnapped by a man named Urian, a member of the Illuminati. Chun Li would chase after the man and defeat Urian, reclaiming the young girl. Since then, it is known that Chun Li has continued to raise the adopted children. And that's it really for Chun Li, guys. Now, out of all female characters, I believe that she's the strongest in fighting game history, as her beauty more comes from her technique and power instead of her visual appeal. Now, a fun fact about Chun Li is that she is the first ever playable female character in a one-on-one fighting game. Now, I'm really looking forward to Street Fighter V, as I'd like to see the interactions between Charlie Nash, Guile, and Chun Li. Mostly because Charlie Nash has now effectively become Frankenstein's monster, and he's looking for his maker in a sense, M. Bison. Now here's a preview for next week's episode, guys. So now we're going to cover Kazuya Mishima, as I think those unknown to the Tekken series want to understand more about the Devil Gene, and even current fans of the series want to know a bit more. Now thank you for watching till the very end, guys. As always, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.